Hey, welcome back to the Low Def Media Podcast channel. I am Mike, and today we are going to be talking about podcasting. I'm checking my levels only because, this will make more sense as we go farther. So forgive me, the screen is not in front of me like a lot of podcasters. They put that monitor right in front of them so they can see their levels as they're working, but I don't have that luxury at the moment. Things might change. But all right, everything looks to be running smoothly. I've got a nice recording. I've got my video. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Here's the thing. Podcasting. If you are new to the podcasting space, I want to take about 10 or 15 minutes and kind of explain my struggles and how I've progressed as a podcaster to maybe help you with your journey. I'm going to take these off because the glare from the light right there is probably pretty annoying. So, okay, let's talk about the setup first and how I got to where I'm at, okay? So first, I've got this AKG C-214 XLR microphone. Now, the reason why that's important is because this is the microphone that I have wanted to use for months. My wife found this microphone at I'll just say it was a store that sells returned items. I don't know how else to describe it. And I've talked about it before here on the podcast. She found this microphone there, $5, because it was purchased on Amazon, returned, and then Amazon sells all their returned items in crates, and you just pay a flat fee for that crate. You have no idea what's in it. This happened to be in it, and the person who bought that crate and then started selling all the stuff, they have no idea. They sold this $400 microphone, $5. Now, the downside is it doesn't come with anything. So I had to start off, I had to buy the XLR cable. I have a mixer that's over there, and I got that at the same store, $5. But the problem with that is that, one, it doesn't come with a manual, so I have no idea really how to use it. I've kind of taught myself some things off of YouTube, but don't really know how to use the mixing board properly, and so this ends up sounding like trash. A $400 microphone sounds like trash when I put this into the mixer, and then the mixer into my laptop. It's not good. So this is a much better setup. So how did I get here? Let's rewind. When I first started with the idea of completing or recording a podcast, when I first started, and I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I have ideas. I have things that I want to express with other people and see if I'm the only one who thinks these things. And so I came up with the Low Def Media channel, both on YouTube and a podcast. That's why there's a microphone in the middle. And I'll show you this here real quick. This is the sticker for the channel. And so you can see there, it's an old-timey microphone right there in the middle. So that was the idea from the very start, podcasting. Okay, so now how do I start? Well, I had a laptop, it has GarageBand. I had a microphone that I would put on top of my camera. It was a Rode Video Go microphone. I said, okay, that's good enough. I will plug that into my computer and I can make a podcast. And so I used SoundCloud first because I could record my podcast in an app on my MacBook, take that MP3 file and upload it directly to SoundCloud. So that was the beginning. Okay, now that was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I had a few of those episodes out there. Okay, now that worked fine, but it didn't really allow me the opportunity to do any kind of editing to the sound quality, to the audio itself. It was just me talking and putting it up on the internet. There was really no way to advertise it, to create a page. It was just kind of there. So I said, all right, that's really not what I'm looking for. What I wanted to do also in the beginning was to have a two-person podcast, myself and my wife, and just talk about things. her perspective sometimes is different than mine. So I figured, that would be a nice little back and forth. So I bought 2 lavalier mics that I could then connect, or that were connected to a single 3.5 millimeter TRRS jack. And I could put that right into my iPhone or MacBook or into my iPad and record the audio that way. I said, okay, that works. We've got 2 microphones. We can go back and forth. But, when you're talking about a lavalier mic, you're not talking like this. It's not going to be like a dynamic microphone. So I said, all right, that's not what I'm looking for. So then the search began. From there, I started kind of focusing more on the microphones. I would find microphones here and there, and most of them were very inexpensive USB microphones that you find on Amazon. They were Fi-Fine or Fi-Fine microphones. I've got 2 of those. I've got 2 Snowball microphones. One is actually right back there. It's the Blue Yeti. And so, the Blue Yeti. I also have the Blue Snowball. And so those are great microphones, especially for the price point and for what you're asking them to do, which is just record audio. But I kept seeing other creators with different microphones, and I liked the way theirs sounded. Now, I've done a video about this where you can make just about any microphone sound about the same. And trust me, I've got this microphone right here on my desk, which I used just the other day for a YouTube video. That's a small little shotgun mic that you put on top of your camera. Over here, I've got the headset, the gaming headset with a microphone. Now that's a much more sensitive microphone and the sound isn't all that great, but with a little bit of tweaking, you can make that sound very usable. I've also used that for a podcast in the past. Most of the time, I will use this microphone, or I will use the F-Deuce SL40, which is a USB-C /XLR microphone. You can kind of see the connections right there. And so that gives me the best of both worlds, and I do like that microphone. It's very similar to a Shure microphone. But at a $69 price point, yes, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like this. And this is the one I've been pining to use for months. So how did I get to the point where I can use it? I got this. This is the Konica. It's a amp, and they call it the, oh geez, I don't have my glasses on. They call it the LinkFlex AD2. And okay, take the time and really set up the way you're going to do your podcast. Set up your setup. Take the time to do it right, because this is a hodgepodgery. If you saw this, it would probably give you nightmares. Anyway, so that Konica preamp basically allows you to hook in one XLR microphone and then connect it to your computer, rather than having a large mixer. And this also has phantom power. Now, the reason why I like this Konica is because I can connect it directly into my iPhone or into my iPad. And so I have GarageBand there, which is what I'm using now. And so I can record audio right into that. So if I took this on vacation, all I would have to do is take my microphone, a cable, this Konica, and my phone, and I could produce a very good podcast just on the road. Now, how do I get this up to the internet? Well, see, the first time I was using SoundCloud, and I progressed from there to Anchor. And that's what I'm still using. I use Anchor and Buzzsprout. Those are free services that one will either, I know with Anchor, it allows you to create your podcast there. You record right there on either the app or online, and you create your entire podcast. They have sound effects. You can record different tracks. I mean, they do the whole thing top to bottom, and then you can post it, and then they send it to a variety of different platforms. The two that are of probably most importance to most people, iTunes and to Spotify. So I love that platform. Plus, the nice thing about Anchor is, like what I'm doing now, you can upload video podcasts. So I can upload my video podcast onto Anchor. It goes out to Spotify so you can watch it, just, kind of like the Joe Rogan experience where you can watch him during his podcast. I mean, he tapes the whole thing, and so you can watch it because people like to consume their content differently. Some people like to just listen to it in the car. Others like to watch it on their computer. So I like having dual formats. So that's something that I kind of progressed into. So I do like the video podcast. I also put this out on YouTube. And so I've kind of studied where that is one of the fastest moving platforms on YouTube is a video podcast. So I do that as well. Now, one thing I will tell you, and you're probably getting to this conclusion, but Mike, I've never heard of your podcast. And so you're right. My podcast is not all that popular, or I'm not that well known. It's not famous, but I've been at this for now three years. So we'll say 2019, doing the podcast thing. And so I've learned a lot in that process. And so sharing that with you, maybe you can glean something from that and it'll save you a few steps. So I would definitely go the video podcast route. I would definitely invest in a microphone that you really like, so that prevents you from buying multiple microphones. Do some research. There are a ton of really good entry-level microphones. I can think of a few. The F-Deuce microphone that's sitting on the floor, that's a good entry-level microphone, $69. The Samson Q2 microphone, I think that's Q2U. It's more of your traditional microphone, and it's also around that $70 price point. And then there are a couple others right there between the $80 and $100 that are very solid microphones. And I wouldn't say that you have to use an XLR microphone. I do like the way an XLR microphone sounds. If you look at all the professional podcasts with thousands of views and downloads and subscribers, they all have XLR microphones. Most of them use the Shure, I don't even know, S7B or something like that. Most of them use that, but they're pricey. They're $300. And so it really depends on how seriously you're taking your podcast. Because like I said, you can make just about any microphone sound pretty good. Now, I will say this, with some of those less expensive microphones, you're going to run into a problem where it's a condenser mic and it picks up audio from everywhere. So this particular microphone focuses right here in the front, not so much in the back or on the sides. It's specifically designed to pick up your vocals right here. So the echo in the room, not so bad. But I bought one of these, and this is just a foam stand that bends like this so that you can put your microphone right in here. And if you're in a room similar to this where it's got a lot of echo and you've got a condenser mic that's going to pick up all those echoes from the back and from the side, then you may want to invest in something like that, because that will allow you to gain better sound. The microphone will only pick up what's right in front of it because you're absorbing the rest of the sound in the back. Something to consider. Now, if you're going to do a video podcast, you got this big freaking wall in front of you, so it doesn't work so well like that. But other things you can do, if you look behind me here on the wall, I do have some sound, I don't even know, sound panels that are supposed to absorb sound to prevent the echo, but I'm talking into the corner of the room. And even though it's carpeted and I've got a lot of stuff in here, there's still some echo. So that's where a nice microphone like this really comes in handy. So what have we kind of surmised from this brief little podcast? One, understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, and then build your setup based on that so that you can focus more on your content and focus more on pressing record and getting your thoughts out there onto your platform, rather than always be concerned with, I need something else. I need a stand. I need a microphone stand. I need a muff. I need some kind of pop filter. I need all these different things. So do do the opposite of what I did. It took me years to get all this piece together. I wish I had gotten this preamp a long time ago. It was only $49 on Amazon. And so this has been a game changer because, again, it's allowing me to use a very good microphone that I found at a very low cost. And it really, I think, improves the quality of this podcast. You tell me if this isn't as good as I think it is. I've also said that it's good to videotape so you can put it out on a variety of different platforms. Use Anchor to post your podcasts. There are other apps, or there are other providers out there, but I like Anchor and I've been using it for years. It can be monetized, and so that's another benefit. Buzzsprout is a wealth of information, so use that. But when it comes to capturing your audio, really focus on that first. Get a quality, get your audio really nailed down, so that way you can focus on the content and try to. And what I've always tried to do, and I haven't been able to get there yet, is get it set up the same way every time so that it's much easier, but I just haven't gotten there yet. So if you can do that, if you've got a place where you can set it up and leave it, that's clutch. That's where it's at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I just wanted to get this put out there because, again, I've gone through all these steps, and I think someone out there can get value from this. So, hey, if this is the kind of content that you like, become a subscriber. Really helps out the channel. With that in mind, hey, this is the Low Dev Media Podcast channel. Thanking you for taking the time, and we will see you in the next one.